2017 home theater get-together meet.
All right, so we're just going to go over briefly how you take a measurement with REW, and then how you interpret the data to understand the acoustics of the room. So we're going to click on Measure. And you'll see it's opening the screen here. So currently, it looks like Mike has this set so that it ends at 3,000 hertz. We're actually going to extend this up to the upper end of his system.
Sorry, Matt, that's right in your face.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. The other thing we're going to do is that, so you'll notice there's some background noise because there's other people around here. There's us, there's fans, whatever. The length of the sweep affects how much energy is put into the room. The more energy that's put into the room, the better that the FFT processing basically can do it, lowering the noise flow. So we're actually going to extend this from the current 128 to 512, which is a longer sweep, so you'll see it switch to 10.9 seconds.
Hold on, he's going to plug in iNews real quick. If you want to go over something.
Oh.
While he doesn't want to switch around.
Connect the thing with system and connecting the things. Cables and all.
So what we're doing for this one is we're using, what mic do you have?
The
Your mic?
Spectrum Lab M6 mic that's calibrated.
Oh, so it's the Dayton UMM6? Okay.
From Spectrum Labs.
So he has a calibrated mic. What that means is that the microphone itself is the standard Dayton microphone, but it's been gone over by Spectrum Labs, third party, who basically compared the measurements of that microphone with a reference microphone that is calibrated by a NIST lab. They then create a file that represents the difference between the response of that microphone and the response of their certified microphone. That file then corrects in this for any differences between this and a reference microphone. It's not identical to what an actual professional lab would do for calibration, but it's very similar. And so it allows you to take much more accurate measurements. Now, with room acoustics, absolute accuracy is not that important. Repeatability is far more important. So the reality is having a calibrated microphone doesn't buy you a lot of advantage, but when you're doing things like you're trying to EQ flat, for instance, if the mic has like a 3 dB peak somewhere, you could end up EQing that when it's not really there. So it certainly doesn't hurt. It's just that most even fairly cheap mics actually have a relatively flat response. There's some exceptions to that, but like the Behringers, I think, have gotten a little...
We're good to go now, too.
The UMK1 actually has some weird issues in the response. So I even though in some ways it's one of the better mics, I actually think that's one that's worth having calibrated just because it actually has a little bit of a boost in the bass. And I don't really know why that is, but like the standard, I forget which model it is, but the Behringer that isn't the Dayton that isn't USB actually has a pretty flat response. So, you know, if you're doing speaker crossovers, some of those errors could be an issue for you. If you're just measuring a room, it's not a big deal. Anyway, we're ready to go? So we are going to go ahead and measure. So during the measurement, we want everyone to be quiet because it'll pick that up as part of the measurement. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Measurement. Good Lord, Mike.
For everyone watching, yes, I like my bass very hot.
All right. So the first thing we need to do is extend this out. We're going to go ahead and stop this at 5 hertz because I feel like that actually matters. So we have an issue, Mike.
Controls, you could smooth it.
It's not.
Go to all SPL.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to smooth it.
No, well, we can smooth it here. You just go to graph. That's not the issue. I think it's a bad measurement. Maybe not. What is, oh. That can't be right. There's no way you're that hot.
I am.
That's like 50 decibels hot.
45 to be exact, yeah. You want to set it down? I can turn on the mini DSP and crank it down.
I'm afraid to move on before I have somebody else confirm. He's saying that he's 45 decibels hot.
Yeah. We cranked that up.
All right.
Let me turn it down. We'll turn on the mini DSP. We'll turn it down. Here, grab this.
All right. This will be a funny video for other people to watch later on. Reaction of it.
You're live, so it's going on YouTube too. All right, let's do this. Excuse me.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and flatten the response. I'm just going to say, for the purposes of acoustic measurement in a room, you generally want a relatively flat, even response, because below the shorter frequency, the transition frequency of the room, you're in a place that's called minimum phase and steady state. What that means is that other than room reflections, the volume of those low frequencies will be relatively constant anywhere in the room. And because it's steady state, a change in amplitude is directly related to a change in phase. So if you have very, very high amplitude, like you've turned your bass way up like that, you're going to see a lot more ringing.
I love it.
I can't believe that's how you like it. I'm like 3 dBs hot, and I'm like, I don't know, a little off on neutral.
All right, everyone, one more time.
Did this stop recording?